a lot has been happening. Like, a lot has been happening on social media. A lot has been happening in entertainment news. A lot has just been happening in the world, period. And I think, what other place, what other time than to talk about it than now? If you're not already following the socials, make sure you do at Talks with A to B. That's on both Instagram, TikTok. That's Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. We're in all those platforms, so make sure you do give us a follow there. That's Talks with A to B. A to B is literally spelt ADAB. And if you click the link in the bio on any of those platforms, you will be led to a wonderful link tree, which will show you some cool links for you to check out. That includes the Talks with A to B's submission playlist, which is my favorite playlist right now. It's featuring artists from all over the world. It's literally artist submissions, a curated playlist, and it's just amazing. I definitely will obviously be playing it on today's show, but also would recommend for you guys to go out and check it out in your own time and add some of those artists to your playlist, and if you like them, give them a follow as well and follow their journeys. What else is it? Oh, of course, got the YouTube channel as well. Some visuals are going to start dropping very soon. There are some visuals that are overdue, from 2021, but it was kind of crazy. We're trying to get those edited in a format that I liked and that I felt would do the content justice. So, yeah, it's taken a while, but we're finally there. So I would highly recommend, if you're not already subscribed to the YouTube, that you do that. And also, I will be trickling some videos onto Spotify as well. So make sure you're just plugged in, connected to Talks with A to B so you know what's going on when. Okay, enough of that. I'm going to get straight into whatever was going on with Latto, because I didn't understand why, what, when, where any of this was happening. I was very confused, I'm not going to lie to you. I was just kind of like, girl, do you know what I mean? I can't imagine what it's like having hundreds and thousands of people just not liking you and finding every reason to continue to, make your existence miserable. So Latto is one of those people that she's on the latest hate train. Everybody just loves to hate Latto right now. If you don't know who Latto is, she is an American hip hop rap artist. But to me, anyways, forget what I think. Let's just stick to the story. So she's a hip hop rap artist from America. And her kind of biggest song at the moment, I think, because I don't really know her music, is her Big Energy remix with Mariah Carey, which is actually, ironically, a remix of, or should we say a sample of Rihanna, of Mariah Carey's single, can't remember the name, but it will come back to me. Point being, it was kind of a huge collab, and she was given a Grammy nomination. And I don't know if you guys remember sometime in 2022 last year where, Nicki Minaj was firing shots at Latto. Well, she wasn't firing shots at Latto. She was firing shots at the Grammys, but she used Latto to make her point that if Latto can be considered in rap category, why can't, what was Nicki Minaj's song again? Goodness me. Whatever song Nicki Minaj released last year with JT and all of them girls, what's her name? Wow. These rappers' names just missing me. No, let me actually look it up. It was Super Freak featuring, let's get this, Super Freaky Girl even. Remix featuring, oh, that's it, JT, Bia. I don't know why I'm seeing a version here with Saweetie. I didn't think Saweetie was on that. That would be very random. It was JT, Bia, and Malibu Mitch. Those were the girls on the Super Freaky Girl remix. And Nicki Minaj wasn't considered for, I think she was put in the pop category rather than the rap category. And she was like, well, if Big Energy, which in all fairness, it does really sound like a pop track, even though Latto is rapping on it. She was like, if Big Energy can be considered rap, why can't Super Freaky Girl, right? Anyways, point being, that's kind of like Latto's, I guess, kind of what I think to be Latto's biggest song to date. But this girl, I don't know. I don't actually know who her fans are, because I don't know that I've seen anyone actually saying they love Latto. I've only ever seen saying that they don't like her. And I just think, I don't know when this hate train started. I don't know for how long it's been going, but social media, child, they love to hate. So, if you're a hater, you're put on a pedestal for some reason. It's so weird. Especially on Twitter. Twitter is that place. If you want to thrive as a hater, go to Twitter. They love you on there, right? They soak that ish up. And they find each other and they just multiply. So yeah, Latto's just been on the receiving end of lots of like just negative tweets. And the latest one was when she posted a picture with her, you know, this kind of like low-rise jeans that these girls be wearing with their BBLs, and then they've got like their thongs showing out. So apparently Latto's done that picture several times. And in 2 of the pictures, one of the haters managed to find out that she wore the same knickers or thongs twice. Like, let's be for real. Let us be for real. Like, they found out she wore it twice, and yeah, they just basically started dragging her, and she actually defended herself. I was surprised. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't think she was actually going to defend herself, because I just thought, this is ridiculous. I just thought there's no way, but she actually did defend herself by quote tweeting saying, oh, check out the panty police or something like that, laughing emojis. And then people are still dragging her like, no, don't try and laugh out of it. You're supposed to be rich. How can you not afford to have, you know, more than one? Why are you wearing the same knickers in multiple photos? That's disgusting. As if people don't wash their knickers. You know, I don't know. It was just a really weird conversation online. And I know half of these people probably haven't changed their knickers since, you know, they were last in school. So I find it weird that people have this energy online, because if you actually probably look into their personal lives, you know, there's a lot going on, and I just don't know why they're not attending to that. But it's neither here nor there. Latto took it a step further. She said she's going to put her thingies on eBay, and people were bidding, and I think it got up to like $10,000 that people were bidding for to buy her her knickers, which is disgusting. And then so that to me, I was like, that has to be some fans and some other weird, super freaky people that would want to buy that, and up to the point where they bid up to 10k. Like, who the hell was prepared to pay 10k? That's ridiculous. And the haters were like, no, we're not going to let you try and profit off of this moment. We're going to report this ad. So they reported the ad, and not the ad, but the sale on eBay, and eBay took it down and actually released a statement around it as well. And I was just like, this is so pathetic. Like, I couldn't think of anything more pathetic in my entire life than this. But it really happened, and the internet really nearly broke down because of it. I just don't understand where we are as a people. Like, are we insane? I think a lot of us are insane. I really do think a lot of us are insane, because I just didn't understand how it got to that point. Anyways, I move on. Chrishean and Blueface. Chrishean is pregnant, allegedly, apparently. She took 3 pregnancy tests, and she thought that it meant 3 separate heartbeats. Every day I hear something about them. I'm not subscribed to anything to do with Chrishean and Blueface, but as long as I go on Twitter, their names will trend, and their names will trend for just something that I just don't care to know about. But yeah, her being pregnant, I didn't need to know. But her thinking that her taking the pregnancy test 3 times meant that she thought she was having triplets or 3 children. I don't even know really what she thought, but she thought there was more than one heartbeat in her stomach. I was just like, in her womb even. I was just like, girl, it doesn't necessarily mean that. I mean, it could, but you taking 3 pregnancy tests doesn't mean that you're... Anyways, like, I'm really tired of seeing Chrishean and Blueface's relationship. It's toxic. It's disgusting. I hate that they have a TV show. I think everything about that, about the way we glamorize abusive relationships and just toxicity in general, I dislike so much. I hate that. That's, especially as like Black people, I hate that that's like kind of like the pinnacle of our entertainment. You know, that's the entertainment that we make go viral, that we sensationalize. It's just sad. I'm going to let her introduce herself, but you need to understand that there are levels to these things, okay? And that's why it's very important to talk with women like her, because they are women that make things happen, okay? Work ethic, work rate, next level, okay? I'm telling you here first, but she's going to tell you more as she tells you a bit of her story. Let's give it up for none other than...
CeeCee.
Period. Woo! Thank you, CeeCee, for joining me on the Talks with Ada B show. This is great. This feels exciting.
Thank you, Ada, for having me. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely.
I think it's like well overdue. We're coming up to like 2 years of the Talks with Ada B radio show.
Listen,
so
crazy.
It's only logical.
It absolutely makes sense. I wanted to start the year with you as well. I was just saying that earlier. But, you know, it didn't happen that way, but I believe everything happens for a reason. So I'm just glad that she's here right now. And we can really get into who you are, your journey, how we're in this space right now that you've created, and even what's to come from you. So, yeah, for the people then that don't know who CeeCee is, introduce them to you. Let them know who you are.
Okay, I'm CeeCee Morissette, and I have a live band event called Music of the Soul and a radio station called MOTS Live Radio. I started my events 6 years ago, and I solely started just because I'm an artist myself, and I just wanted to have a show that was different from what was happening at the time. Like, there was a lot of shows where they were PA shows, and I wanted to do something with a live band. So I had inspiration from going to certain other events and everything. So I just came up with the idea just to kind of just put myself on, really. And then by the second show, I was like, do you know what? I've got something here. I want to continue. I started to meet really amazing people. So for me, it was just pretty much easy to just continue doing the shows every month, which is what I did. And I did that for 3 years, and then COVID happened. Obviously not the best thing to happen if you are running events. That's not where you want.
That was a tense time.
It was very tense. So obviously I was really scared, Ada. Like, I thought, what am I going to do now? You know, what's next, basically. And just before COVID, I came up with the idea of running a radio station on the side as well, which Ada was actually originally a part of. She was on the original roster for that. You was, girl. You was actually the only presenter that was on the first roster and then was on the second. Wow. So that's an achievement in itself, girl.
Look at God.
So it was meant to be, obviously. So so what happened was I kind of started like a pilot of the show, the radio shows, in March 2020, and then literally 2 weeks later,
everything
COVID. So, but it was good because it gave me time to kind of really sit back and see, you know, the model in a more updated way, and kind of see what everybody else was doing. And you know, this is when TikTok was kind of really getting crazy, so I realized that it was great to have a digital platform during this time. So I just used the time to really work on a radio station, and and then what I did was in 2021 I just relaunched the station in March 2021, literally a whole year later. And I found a new little location and got on built another roster of presenters, put the shows obviously on a back burner for a little while, but I still felt like I was doing a great thing for artists, because I still giving an artist a platform to promote their music and themselves. And a lot of the presenters as well, like yourself, are artists too. So I still felt like I was, you know, staying true to, my original business ideas. So I've just been having a great time, really.
Honestly, it's been amazing to watch the journey grow. And I was just saying, I feel like since I met you at the first show, it's just been, you know, you've just been so consistent with it. And a lot of people, when that pandemic came, they didn't necessarily use that time to rethink, rebrand, re-strategize. They just gave up. So I was really curious to know, like, how you managed to kind of keep yourself going. What made you wake up even during a time of so much uncertainty, say, I'm still going to plan towards this thing and make sure that whenever we do get out of whatever we're in, we're going to make this go live?
It's the people, to be fair. It's the people. Like, I just felt like I had built such a great brand, and I couldn't have done it without people. And I just felt like, you know, 3 years of all that hard work and all of that, you know, portfolio of amazing music and meeting amazing musicians and amazing artists and working with great venues and meeting all different types of people. You know, you meet bloggers, vloggers, newspaper journalists, and you know, there's so many different types of people you meet, and you meet influencers, and you know, and to be fair, I just thought, I know I've got a really great brand. I cannot let it die out, and that's just what kept me going. Also, I invested a lot of my own money into it, so it wasn't just about the money, but it was like, it was an investment.
Yes, absolutely.
And Music of the Soul became my family, so it was like I can't give up on my family.
Oh, I love that. That's such a beautiful way to describe it. And you're also right, like the investment, because I feel like sometimes people are scared to invest in themselves, but I'm like, if there's anybody in this life to invest in, it is definitely yourself.
100%.
Like, I don't know why people are so shy to do that, but you're absolutely right. It's a commitment at the end of the day. And I'm so glad that you said it's the people, because I think, especially during that 2020, like, a lot of people felt so disconnected. And you could just kind of sense this sense of spiraling, like mentally people were just like, because we've just never been in anything like it before, especially for like us who are under the age of 35. Like, we've never seen anything in our lifetime like it. So, you know, I think it was just a real shock to the body, to the system. But it's so good to know that this network, this family that you'd created just prior, actually, you know, is what sustained you through, and it made you realise, you know, it is possible to come out on the other side of this and still have something worth, you know, people worth tuning into and worth turning up for. So how does it feel now, you know, that the radio show has been going on, the radio station's been going for 2 years, and you're now actually calling back into, I wouldn't even say calling, you're literally leaping back into events. How does that feel for you, like that transition? Do you feel like you're ready now to do both? Or do you feel like you're not sure, you're kind of anticipating what's ahead?
So I'm going to be very transparent here, because it hasn't been easy keeping the events on the back burner for 3 years. That's been so hard. When I even say 3 years, I'm like, really? Has it been that long? But I had to come back, and I just thought I could have come back quite some time ago, but I thought, you know, when better than the 6-year reunion? And what's really special as well is that I started the event, the very first event was on Sunday the 5th of February 2017, and this year it's Sunday the 5th of February 2023. So period. You know, so I just thought, this is great. I just thought this is perfect. So with the radio show, obviously the anniversary kind of lands in the same kind of time, because it lands in March, and then it will be 2 years. And the truth is that by 2 years, I did think that I would be a lot more advanced with the radio station. The radio station is amazing. The presenters, again, for me, it's the people. You guys make the radio station what it is. And you lots made it very easy and made it a very loving, happy journey for me. But I want to be able to progress in everything I do. And I want to, you know, I want to lead by example for you guys, because I feel like you guys should be, you know, getting bigger and better, you know, on what you're doing. And maybe the radio station isn't something you're going to do long term, but, you know, I'm here to support you guys in whatever it is that you want to do. So for me, I feel like hitting a 2-year mark, there has to be a change. So there's still a lot of things in the works. I'm not going to, you know, be mentioning anything today, but there are going to be some really great collaborations and things moving forward that I've decided to invest in, because I think it will benefit the station and it will benefit you guys, because it will allow you guys to grow. So, you know, if we give you the platform for you to grow, you'll run with it. And I've seen that, because you guys have done it with everything I've given to you, but there are, you know, bigger and better things out there. So instead of kind of just kind of staying at one level, I've decided to take it up a good 10 levels and actually go into a more of a collaboration. But yeah, it's difficult for me to speak on, because you know, things are not set in stone as yet, but in my heart and in my head, like we're already there. So there's lots more amazing stuff to come, so you guys have to keep tuned in.
You were actually mentioning that you had decided to go with MOTS Live and you know, kind of branch that into different aspects of media and entertainment, one of which is this radio station that we're at right now. And then also you mentioned the live show as well. You mentioned management, right, as well?
Artist management and stuff like that,
So now that you're in this kind of, I guess, journey or step of MOTS Live, what does the future look like for you? How do you see yourself kind of really establishing yourself in the scene and making it clear that this is not just an event or just something that pops up every now, but this is something that is here to stay and is worth tuning into and even investing in?
So definitely the events, because I feel like that's where the business thrived at its most, was doing the events. So I think it's all well and good. Like, people say to me, oh, like, how do you promote, and like, what do you do to promote, and things like that. And when I tell people what I feel like they should do to promote, they're kind of like, oh, and then they're kind of like, don't listen to me anymore. And I think that promotion is in its best form when it's done in person. So yes, you can use the internet because obviously it's such a wide, you know, area that you can cover. However, the internet is really focusing just on what it wants to focus on. So like for instance, Instagram, now they're just really focusing on those influencers and on, you know, when you go on your timeline, you don't see your friends anymore. You don't see fellow artists and musicians, you know. And one of the reasons is because we like the post. So the things that you like is what you get more interaction with. And also, if you I don't know if you've noticed this, but say that me and you and I hadn't spoken in some time. If you then message me or I message you and we have a little conversation, even if it's just a 1-2 back and forth, all of a sudden you'll start to see my posts come on your timeline.
It's true.
So that's another thing. So yes, you can promote on the internet and stuff like that, but you have to do things personally. You have to reach out, even if it's on the internet, you have to reach out to people personally. I think doing things in person, even in general, the old school handing out flyers, talking to people, just people looking at your face and like, oh, like, this is a memorable face, this is a memorable person. Because, you know, otherwise we're all robots and we're all bots on Instagram. We might as well be, you know, because when we post something now, the bots just are telling you to promote now. So, you know, but we're actually the ones that are encouraging that behavior, because we're doing activity by the way we post and by hashtagging things and stuff like that. Where when Instagram first came out and Facebook was first out, it was very organic. It was about family and friends, you know. So we kind of need to strip it back to that. And back to your original question, what I kind of see myself doing, like kind of going to next, especially with the events, is doing, at least starting off in the UK and doing like a UK tour, because it's all well and good me promoting the show on Instagram and Facebook and social media platforms, but to actually go to other places other than London, like